Alright, what's going on, you fam? Raiyuden here. So data downloads are in, and we're going to be seeing the upcoming new characters, events, and new banner change coming in just a few hours. We're going to be starting with the Legends Limited Bardock Zenkai Awakening. Really excited for this guy. I think ranged Saiyans, just pure ranged Saiyans, are in a bit of a weird spot. So I'm really hoping that Bardock fits a pivotal role in terms of solidifying that team, because his Z ability is easily one of the best, just having max HP in there. He was a slow starting character, so hopefully they can address some of that as well. And I believe his endurance was conditional, so hopefully that doesn't exist anymore, just because it doesn't seem like it's necessary anymore. So let's go ahead. Bardock's main ability draws his ultimate, restores his health by 25% and ki by 50, applies a buff effect, nullifies special actions, basically cover nullification for 10 timer counts, inflict all enemies with the attribute downgrade, minus 50% to health restore, okay, 25 timer counts. His first passive, 90% damage inflicted, 35% reduced damage received, nullify abnormal conditions for 60 counts, and restores health by 25% only once when it reaches 0. So there you go. They did it. They got rid of conditional endurance. Before, I think he needed a dead ally, and he came out at such a bad time because the androids came out either a little bit after or a little bit before him. And if you guys remember those guys, they had canceling endurance just part of their kit, so it made it a bit silly that this guy had conditional endurance that couldn't even be leveraged. The following effects occur when the enemy attack is over. 30% of the next art's damage inflicted, increases own card draw speed by 2 levels for 10 timer counts. Was it always 10 timer counts? I don't recall if it was that long. And inflicts all enemies with no switching for 3 timer counts. Nice little lock in there. Applies the following effects to self when an ally is defeated. Minus 5 to blast art's cost, and nullifies unfavorable element factors for damage sustained. So he starts taking type neutral damage. Pretty good. You'll love to see it. Second passive. The applies the following effects to self every 4 timer counts while he's on the field. 10% to damage inflicted, activates 7 times. Looks like they didn't address that, which kind of stinks. Minus 1 to art's cost, cannot be cancelled either. They could have done so much here. They could have made it so that, I don't know, it activates, I don't know, 35% damage inflicted for like every 5 timer counts. I don't know. It just seems ridiculous to have this dude just sit on the battlefield for 28 timer counts. You know what I mean? Just like a bajillion timer counts in order to get all this damage inflicted. You know, it's unnecessary. A lot of matches are decided in 30 timer counts, so I don't think it's needed. They could have made it a lot quicker. They could even made it, you know, 3 timer counts, 2 timer counts, just to make it go quicker. He has a cover change against blast darts. We know that already. Chainable with the blue. The following effects occur when the enemy switches characters while this character's on the field. Reduces the next damage sustained by 25%. 20% to own ki recovery. Shorten ally sub count by 2. Reduce enemy ki by 25. Okay, looks good. And here's where we see the new stuff. Zenkai 3 and Zenkai 6. Rage against the self. Applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield. Draw a blast card and restore ki by 50. Both activate once. Also applies the following effects to self per defeated battle member. Restore ki by 25. 10% to damage inflicted, and increases card draw speed by 1 level. So solid last stand unit, it looks like. Zenkai 6. The following effects occur upon landing a blast darts hit. 15% to blast damage inflicted for 10 counts. Minus 3 to blue card cost for 10 counts. Enemies smack with the attribute downgrade, minus 15% to health restore for 10 counts. Applies the following effects to self if there's a defeated battle member. 20% to next special move damage inflicted. Applies buff effect, nullify enemy special actions when changing cover. Okay. Interesting. So wait, Bardock. So it doesn't look like Bardock just became a more hyper offensive unit. Didn't really become much of a you know, disrupt guy, support guy, which is fine. Still a little bit of a slow starter, it feels like, but okay. I mean, the platinum equipment with his new Zenkai stats, Zenkai passive, and all that stuff, he should hit pretty hard. His blue card, massive impact damage, 15% damage inflicted for 10 counts upon activation. Destroy your own cards upon activation, and then the usual, you get more damage based off the number of blue cards killed. For the green card, randomly draw a new card, restore own health by 15% and keep by 30. Was it always 15% HP? That's crazy. I thought, oh wait, no, that used to be conditional, right? I think no, it's just a vanish restore. 15% to the next blast damage inflicted, cannot be stacked, and the following effects occur if there's a defeated battle member. Restore on vanish gauge by 60%, activates 3 times, randomly destroy 2 enemy cards, and as we know, yellow Saiyan Zenkai buffer. Okay, so Bardock, my impressions, he seems good. It seems like a solid damage dealer. In terms of overwhelmingness, I don't really know. We'll have to see in game. He's still a little bit of a slow starter, but between the new stats he's going to have, the Zenkai ability, the new damage passives, and the plat equip, I think he'll do fine. He'll do pretty good. Next, this is the EXs. The EX Final Form Frieza and the EX Bardock. Super disappointing that these characters are EXs. The most notable one being Bardock, because we haven't seen a new Dragon Ball Super Bardock in years. And the new one that we get is an EX. And even worse, he has some fantastic art. It is so painful to see amazing art be wasted on EX characters that will see no play. EX Omega Shenron, EX Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and EX Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Both of the, I think they're the Future Saga ones. Those guys have like LF worthy art and they're EXs. Such a shame. Same thing goes for that Bardock, the Dragon Ball Super Bardock. He looks so good. So let's go right to it. Hopefully the kit makes up for the fact that they're hard to pull, need multiple copies, and they're EXs. His main ability, restore and keep by 50, 20% damage inflicted, -5 to strike and blast starts cost, cannot be cancelled. Apply attribute upgrade, shortens sub count by 5 to self for 20 timer counts, shorten ally sub counts by 5, cancel enemy buff effects. That's pretty good. That's pretty nifty main ability. Only needs 15 timer counts too. When the battle starts, 90% damage inflicted, 65% reduced damage received with card draw speed. The following effects occur when this character shows up on the field. Restore own health by 3%, 30% damage inflicted for 20 counts, 20% damage inflicted by allied Frieza Force, LOE, or powerful opponent characters for 20 counts. The following effects occur if own remaining health is 50% or below when hit by an enemy's arts attack while you're on the field. Restore own health by 30%, nullify own unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 10 timer counts. Jeez, the following effects are applied to all enemies when this character is defeated. -50% to health restore, plus 10% to damage received, plus 5 to all arts costs. So already, first passive is, I mean, it's pretty, it's good. But at the end of the day, he's still an EX character. It's just gonna be painful. Those debuffs don't have a timer count, you'll notice, so they just persist for the entire duration of the fight until they're wiped away. I don't know, plus 5 to arts costs and plus 10% to extra damage taken. It's not too shabby. -50% to health restore will be notable. Pop a main, heal half as much. That sucks. Next passive, applies the following effects to self when he's changing cover. 15% damage inflicted for 20 counts, reduced damage received by 10% until the combo ends. Applies the following effects to enemy every time when faced with an enemy. Reduces ki by 25. Inflict attribute downgrade -10% to strike blast and special move power for 3 counts. The following effects occur when enemy performs a vanish step while this character is on the battlefield. Randomly draw 1 new card if you have 3 or fewer. Reduce enemy ki by 20. Inflict enemy with the attribute downgrade -1 to card draw speed. I was hoping Bardock was going to have this, the one that just got a Zenkai Awakening. Taking away power, taking away ki, taking away a card. Stuff like that goes a long way, especially if you're a character that's intended to stay on the field. Helps soften the blow with you just standing there getting whooped. His blue card, Major Explode, 30% to blue card damage for 3 counts on activation. His green card, randomly draw 1 new card, restore health by 10%, ki by 30. 100% to the next arts damage inflicted, plus 10% to health restore, and his Z ability is going to be 32% to Frieza Force, LOE, or powerful opponent strike and blast defense. But if you're Frieza Force, you get an additional 18% blast attack, so seems okay. This is EX Bardock. Please, please, EX Bardock be really good. Like, at least have a redeeming factor. Please. Let's see. Main ability, draw a blue card, restore on health by 30% and ki by 50, 30% to damage inflicted for 10 counts, and applies the attribute upgrade. Shorten sub count by 2 to self 45. 45 timer counts. Huh. That's not too shabby. I already assume this means that this guy's going to provide death buffs. They always do that with a character that has lower sub count. Passive 1, 90% damage inflicted, 50% reduced damage received, 50% ki recovery. Applies the full effects to self from battle start for 80 counts. 65% to damage inflicted, reduces damage received by 20% and gets card draw speed, and 30% ki recovery. Wow. Wait, what? Apply attribute upgrade minus 20% to enemy sustained damage cut effects. 15% chance to inflict paralysis upon a strike or blast darts hit. Wow, for 80 timer counts, Bardock is a little spiffy, a little scary actually. That's like modern LF passive, so it's pretty good. The following effects occur every time when faced with an enemy LOE, freeze of force or powerful opponent. 10% to blast damage inflicted, 10% to blue card damage inflicted, inflict the enemy with plus 10% to blast damage received. That's a pretty strong passive, his first passive there. The following effects occur every time when hit with an enemy's arts attack while you're on the field. Restore on health by 3%. 10% to damage inflicted, cannot be cancelled, activates 5 times, reduce enemy ki by 5. Applies the following effects to enemy when changing cover. Randomly destroy a card. Inflict attribute downgrade minus 15% to strike, blast, and special move power. When this character is switched to standby, restores ally ki by 30. Inflict enemy the attribute downgrade minus 1 to card draw speed. And applies the following effects to allies when defeated. Restores health by 20% and 30% damage inflicted. Dude, this is what LF Bardock should have had. What the hell? What is this? This is what LF Bardock should have had. Wow, look at this. Is such good disrupt. Kill a card, take away ki, take away power, reduce card draw speed. Yeah, look at that. EX Bardock definitely has some redeeming factors. 80 timer counts. I'm going to be real with you. How often do matches go to 80 timer counts? Okay, you could make the argument that sometimes they do if you're fighting with like MVP 17 and Jiren, and they're all 14 starred with like the best equips in the game. I see those fights going till there's like 2 timer counts left. But most of the time matches are decided in like 50 timer counts. So I'm not too worried about that 80 timer counts there. But the death buffs, the chance for paralysis, and all that other stuff is pretty good. It's just a damn shame he's an EX, because it almost feels like it doesn't really matter. Big shame. Blue card, massive impact damage, 30% to blue card damage inflicted for 3 counts upon activation. Additional 30% blue card damage if the enemy is paralyzed. Green card, draw blast card, restore on ki by 30, 20% to blast damage inflicted, and minus 5 to own blast arts cost. Pretty good. Just a goddamn shame that they don't have any cover null, but that is to be expected for an EX. 32% to Movie Saga, Saiyan, Strike, Movie Saga or Saiyan, Strike, and Blast defense, and 18% to characters that are both Movies and Saiyan Blast attack. Alrighty, not too shabby. EX Bardock. I think EX Bardock is better than EX Frieza, but yeah, just a shame. Now, this is another thing I wanted to talk about. They changed the banner format. So it's your usual, you know, double the Z power for your new shiny character. But they made it so that step 4 is a free single summon with 3 times the drop rate for the new LF. So step 4 is a single that is free that gives you a 1.5 chance of pulling the new character. I don't know what the other steps look like. I don't know what the total CC cost is per rotation. I don't see why they decided to make this change. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't do the math in my head, so I don't really know if it's a positive or negative change, but seeing as how this is still a business, a gacha business, it is most likely still in their favor, so it's not a good change. But yeah, there's a change in the banner format, just keep that in mind. Next, LF Bardock Zenkai Awakening is apparently dropping tonight as well. Usually this is next week. They usually do a Zenkai, they schedule it for next week, and the new character is this week. But I guess this is dropping at the same time to sort of make up for the fact that there's only one new LF. They released this Legends Ultimate pickup banner. I don't know what the other featured characters are on that Bardock and Goku banner, but I don't like this. I really don't. Why deprive a banner of some tremendous value by throwing high value characters on a different banner? I get it, make money, but at some point it's just a bad look. Now I'm saying this without knowing what the featured characters are, so if we find out Goku, Frieza, Purple Cell, MVP 17, Gammas, whatever are on that banner, then I take back my statement. But otherwise, this is just not a good look. It really is unfortunate to see this. Sometimes when I summon for characters, I get them to 7 stars, knowing and deliberately, because sometimes they don't return for over half a year. Half a year. It's insane. Like, if we take the Boo Duo, for example, it's been, what, 8 or 9 months since they came back? That is bad. Metas change fast. So if you ever come across wanting to make content for a character and you want them to perform even 9 months from now, you gotta think ahead. If I kept them at 3 stars, that ain't enough. So this is not a good look. I don't like this. Goku Frieza finally make a return. It's on some rink-a-dink stinky ultimate pickup banner. Next, we got full power battle against the Ultra Super Saiyan Goku for the free-to-play Frieza, no biggie. And then we got the non-stop raid. Did they not say this was against Frieza? Why are we fighting Jiren again? Am I the only one confused by this? I could have swore they said it was against Frieza. But no, our arch nemesis is indeed Jiren. Alright, here we go. Now we're in game, just because we want to see the stats, right? So here is Goku and Bardock. So here are their maximum stats. Do keep in mind you do have to take away 13k because they are getting the arts boost system, but plus or minus based off of your titles as well. Offensive stats, they're not that great. Defensive stats are alright, but the offensive stats aren't that great. 253 for the main offensive stat? That's not great, I don't think. A little disappointing, I think. That's not the great. I guess they're very nervous about this indestructible mechanic. There's a lot of ways to work around this, so I don't think they should be that concerned. But then again, they often are holding back when characters have new mechanics. We know that far too well. EX Bardock, so it looks like you're a purple range type. Curious about your stats. Alright. Nothing crazy. And Frieza, you are a red defense type. Okay. Alright, not bad. Now next, there are some new equips. These equips, as you may know, one of them is for Shallot. Let's see. Base health 10%, base defenses, and then pure blast and strike attack if a battle member other than this character is game originals. Alright, that's pretty good. Pure blast and strike, why not, right? Can't complain. Bardock equip, what do we got? 18% to base critical, crap. 10% to max HP, pretty good. Base strike attack 20% and 15% to pure strike attack if this character is tag team Bardock. That's pretty good. Oh wait, there's another plat. Oh, this is the one for Saiyans. 12% special move damage, 20% base strike defense, 12% pure strike attack if Goku is a battle member, and 20% blast defense and 12% to pure blast attack if Team Bardock is a battle member, aka it's a plat equip for you know who. So okay, pretty good plat, pretty good Shallot equip, pretty good equip here. That's kind of insane. 50% pure strike attack, what? And then oh, we got a new awakened equip. What's this? 20% base strike, 25% to base strike defense, 12% to base strike attack again, and then 6% to base to pure blast defense per same battle member. That's not bad, although there is definitely better. Does he get, wait a minute, does this character get Team Bardock as well? I just want to double check. Ah, they do. Okay, so a lot of those clips are definitely targeted for these guys. I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed with their stats. I think I don't think their offensive stats are that stellar. That's a little low, but I think it just aligns with how ridiculous this character's kit is. We know that the green card is an AOE green, So you just go ahead and proc that, and then you're gonna go ahead and land 2 cards for sure. And then guess what? You get another cancel cover change effect, and then you start stacking up crit rate. And it's no doubt that they were worried about the crit rate and the overwhelming power of that, hence why they lowered their offensive stats. Not to mention this character is able to stack up damage. Like, your opponent's going to switch without a doubt, so you get that other 20%, then you get the strike damage, and then the key recovery, and then you keep on comboing. You get the drill. So they lowered their stats with that in mind, but I still think this character looks pretty cool, so I'm still going to be excited for them. But I think that's pretty much everything. Let me know in the comment section below what you're thinking about all these changes and this character themselves. But until next time, guys, peace.